Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining me. We are going to be talking about garlic today. And I want to thank you guys for listening to me. And if you are so inclined, please subscribe and then you'll get these weekly podcasts. But I think that it helps people because the more information you have, the better decisions you can make. And the more wisdom you have in your food choices, the better you feel, the better choices you make, the more energy you have. And one of the things I try to do with this podcast is try to help you understand that I've met a lot of people, and this is very personal to myself too. I didn't know how good I could feel when I didn't feel good. I didn't really know how bad I felt until I felt good, and how much energy I would have until I felt good. And so doing these podcasts, I'm trying to inspire you to change your life, even if it's just a little bit at a time, because that's what I did, because my energy skyrocketed. I was able to do things I never dreamed I could do, nor did I want to do, because I felt so bad all the time. I didn't know how much energy and how much life I would have if I felt good. So I'm trying to find little ways to help you, little ways to inspire you, because there'll be a tipping point at one point. And I listened to enough people. I got encouraged, by people that I listened to, whether it be video or podcast or, this was 20 years ago. So mostly it was through books. But I got inspired by some things that people wrote about and encouraged me about. And those things that I tried changed my life in a very dramatic way. And I just kept getting better and better, feeling better and better, And before, I was just laying on the couch trying to get through the day, do the things I needed to do, and then I didn't have energy to do anything else. When I felt good, not only did I have energy throughout the day, I was getting up earlier, I was needing less sleep. And the next thing I knew, I was writing books and having a website and doing classes and things I'd never dreamed that I would do. And it was just because I felt better. So that is what I try to do on my podcast, on my website, my articles. I just keep inundating you with things because eventually I'm going to convince you to try it. And if you're listening to this podcast, if you're reading my articles, my free weekly newsletters, eventually something's calling you and eventually you will listen. And because that's what happened to me. And, here's the deal. When you feel better, you do good. It just is a natural byproduct of feeling better. And when we all feel better, everything changes in our lives and everyone around us starts to change because it just spreads. And the only way you can help anybody is to help yourself and to change yourself. And then you become this beacon of light that you send out a signal and people see it and they get to choose whether they want to do it or not. But the only way to change anybody is to change yourself. And I have seen that true. Don't try to convince them by pressuring them. Just live it in front of them. Share your passion, share the things you love, share good food, share, they'll see the wellness. I had so many people who told me I was crazy in the beginning. They said I had a food cult. They said I was nuts because I was fermenting foods on my counter. But it was undeniable how good I felt. And nobody could convince me that this wasn't working because I had never had anything in my life that had worked so well. So almost 20 years later, I'm still doing it, and I'm sharing the wealth to you in hopes that you guys will feel better because it's so fun to feel good. Your house stays cleaner. You look better. You get more organized. I never wanted to be an author. I didn't even like writing. But I wound up finding out that I did like writing because most of that was hidden over by sickness and disease and tiredness. And once that was lifted from me, there were all kinds of things that I like to do that I didn't think I liked to do. And so that's just my encouragement to you today. So let's get on with the 19 ways to use fermented garlic. I think it will really help you. It's a great, easy way to add a culture into your life. And garlic is a powerful food. And it is kind of one of those must-have for your refrigerators because it kind of works it's like a medicine-like food. And making it a part of your diet can work wonders for so many health concerns. One of the benefits of garlic, and this is garlic, whether it's fermented or regular, It helps fight colds and flus. And it has a compound in it called allicin, and it has many health and medicinal purposes. It has been used to fight colds and flus. And in one 12-week study, it reduced the number of colds by 63% compared to those who took a placebo. It's very, very powerful. And I'm sure you've probably heard about it if you've researched garlic at all. It is one of the things that people use very commonly to help fight colds and flus. Okay, number 2, garlic can lower blood pressure. And it's a really powerful thing that garlic can do. But you have to consume about 4 cloves of garlic a day to achieve the most dramatic results. But there's a lot of research supporting this, that garlic can have a significant impact on your blood pressure in people who have hypertension. And I have a new recipe called Fermented Garlic and Honey that's absolutely delicious, that makes it easier to consume garlic every day. And I'll get to that later on in this broadcast. But research has showed that aged garlic is best. And although there haven't been many studies on fermented garlic, the process of fermentation increases the bioavailability of nutrients, making it a very effective way to consume any type of cultured food. Cultured foods are always pre-digested and loaded with enzymes, and the vitamins often increase, allowing the body to digest and use the nutrients with ease and efficiency. And fermentation is basically culturing your food by allowing the microbes to add beneficial benefits to it, probiotics, and fermented garlic is very powerful. Now, garlic can also lower harmful cholesterol, and it can lower LDL cholesterol. All cultured foods will help you lower your harmful cholesterol through the magic of the microbes. And when you have a lot of healthy microbes in your body, they will consume cholesterol as a food source and thereby naturally lowering harmful cholesterol throughout the body, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. So having fermented garlic would be a win-win situation because that will not only help your body to lower cholesterol, but it will increase its bioavailability to your body. So it will make it easier for your body to do that naturally. Now, here's another cool thing. Garlic can detoxify you from heavy metals. The sulfur compounds that have been shown to protect against the damage from heavy metal toxicity is very abundant in garlic. So a study was done on employees of a car battery plant where they were exposed to excess amounts of lead. Garlic reduced the lead levels in the blood by 19%. It also reduced many signs of high toxicity, including headaches and blood pressure issues. So those sulfur compounds that are in garlic are powerful, and it's another reason to have it. So I have a lot of ways to enjoy garlic, and you can have it straight, but garlic breath is a real thing, having it straight. So if you ferment the garlic, it actually is especially if you ferment it in honey, it has less of a smell on your breath. And if you have fermented garlic in your fridge, it's easy and convenient to use, and you can use it in so many ways. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to make. It's even great to have on hand for heated recipes. Fermented garlic will last for several months in your refrigerator. And while heating the garlic will kill some of the probiotics, it's still a great alternative to use instead of canned or vinegar garlics, as well, the kind that's fermented doesn't have preservatives in it, and you'll get more benefits from the garlic staying fresh for longer. I make a big batch of fermented garlic and put it in a jar and use this for everything. And one thing to note, that when you make fermented garlic, it gets really, really spicy because garlic is a prebiotic too. So the microbes grow and multiply, so you get a lot of probiotics from it. However, we've noticed over several months, after it's been fermented for several months, that spiciness will go away as the microbes eat the food out of the garlic and decrease the spiciness. So if you like super spicy garlic, I encourage you to eat it sooner rather than later. So let's get into the 19 ways you can use your fermented garlic. Now, some of these recipes are for my Biotic Pro members, but I have a lot of free ones for everybody. And a Biotic Pro membership is just $10 a month, or you can get a discount if you do 6 months or a year. But we have monthly ebooks. This month we've got Fiesta fermented ebook with all kinds of Mexican recipes. This month, last month we had culture food for kids, and low carb cultured foods. Every month we give you a new one. We've got some new ones coming up. Every month you're going to get a new one. And usually they have anywhere from 20 to 40 to 50 recipes that are cultured. And we also have videos, and we have courses, we have live chats, we have forums, we have all kinds of things on our Body Pro membership, and we're adding to that all the time. And you get discounts on products. But if you don't have to be a member. A lot of these are free, and you can pick and choose what you need. And some of the best ones are free, so I make sure everybody gets the benefits of all of them. So here's number one, dressings. You can throw a garlic of, a clove of garlic in a food processor or blender and make a salad dressing. And I do this all the time. You can use the brine or juice of the garlic that it's fermented in, and you just put a little bit of that juice into your salad dressing, and it adds loads of probiotics and prebiotics into your salad. I have a great recipe. It's lemon kefir dressing, and I am going to give you the link in the description below, and it's also going to be on this pop-up. If you're on YouTube, you'll see it in the corner, and you can click that, and that's going to take you to the article, and that's going to give you all the recipes. And before, I didn't tell you how to make fermented garlic. Let me tell you how to do that real quick. And I also have the recipe in the description or in the article. And basically what you're taking is cloves of garlic. You're going to peel them. You're going to put them in a jar, and you're going to cover them with water, and you're going to put a culture in there. I like cutting edge cultures. That's on my website, but you can also use a little bit of kefir whey. And I'll give you the amounts in the recipe. So you'll have to head on over to my blog at culturedfoodlife.com. or click the description below, or click the pop-up that was in this video. And basically you let it ferment for a couple of days on your counter. You put a lid on it, and it'll get super bubbly, and then you stick it in your fridge, and it'll last for several months in your fridge like that. And that's how you make fermented garlic. You can make as little or as much as you want. And it's a great way to have a bunch of garlic cloves peeled and stuck on your fridge for any kind of recipe. Okay, number two, we're going to make some dips. Now, this is just like the dressings. You simply add a clove or two of garlic into your dips that you make. I have a fantastic Tuscan zucchini dip that I love. It's so good. But you can add this to any dip. And you can also add the juice from the brine into your any kind of dip you have that you serve it. You can even put it in cheese dip. You can do it in anything. And just like a tablespoon or two of the garlic juice that it's been fermenting in will give you billions of probiotics. Okay, number three, you can add it to soups. Now, I do this. I love to make soup. Actually, in the next month, I think we're coming out with the soup and salad and dressing ebook. So stay tuned for that. We're going to use some fermented garlic in those. But soups are one of my favorite things to make, especially in the cooler months. And you can add fermented garlic to soups when they're warm or when they're hot. I like to chop them up and stir them all in. And I have a great recipe on this article for pepper pot soup, which was one of my very favorite soups to make. And boy, is it good. And fermented garlic is fantastic in this. And guys, even if you don't have fermented garlic, it's still good to use garlic, whether it's fermented or not. So some of these recipes will work with just plain garlic too. It's just a good idea to have garlic. So number 4, marinades. For extra probiotics and prebiotics in your diet, you can mince or press the fermented garlic to add into marinades for chicken, fish, meat, or tofu. And I have a really, really good kombucha marinade that I use all the time to marinate meat in to cook for dinner. It's super fun. It's super easy. And boy, is it delicious. And it's got fermented garlic, and it's also got kombucha in it too. But any marinade will work. Just add a little fermented garlic when it calls for garlic. Number 5, stir fries. Heating will kill the probiotics when you heat the fermented garlic, but you still get the prebiotic benefits of the fermented garlic. So it's really nice to have something peeled and preserved in your fridge and ready to go. And adding a spoonful of cultured veggies on top of your stir fry will give you extra probiotics if you cook your garlic and lose some of the probiotics. You can add a little bit of juice on top and it gives it back. And I've got some really good stir fry recipes in my book, Cultured Food for Health, that are wonderful, that taste great. Okay, number 6, for staph infections. If you have a small blip of a staph infection or ringworm, you can use fermented garlic or the juice topically and cover it with a Band-Aid. And I'm telling you, it works wonders because it has so many powerful properties in it. My son-in-law used this on something that he had that worked really, really well. Something that was potentially could have gotten very bad, but it worked wonders. And I've seen that happen several times. So garlic is a pretty powerful thing. And they've used that remedy for years and years and years, way before even antibiotics were around. And it works really, really well. Number 7, do a shot. If you're feeling a cold coming on or in desperate need to knock it out, be brave and do a tablespoon of fermented garlic juice. And that's the juice that the garlic's fermented in. And or you can just chew a few cloves, or you can juice a few cloves. Your breath will not be pleasant, but it does work great. And I try my fermented honey ones. Those are like candy. They're so good, and they are fantastic for any cold or flu. And that's going to be, I think it's number 19 on this thing. Let's get to number 8 though. Munch on them. You can munch on garlic cloves. I'm personally not a fan of garlic snackers, but many of the people have shared with me how their kids and grandkids love snacking on fermented garlic, which is especially the honey garlic ones. So that's another plus. Number 9, make bruschetta. If you don't have time to make a fully fermented bruschetta, because I have a wonderful recipe of bruschetta on here that I'm going to give you, you can do the next best thing by making some fermented garlic to chopped tomatoes, fresh basils, and a splash of balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of salt, and you will get some powerful probiotics. And even if the tomatoes aren't fermented, because I have a fermented Tuscan tomato recipe I give you on this article that's so good. But if you don't, you can just use fresh tomatoes, add a little bit of garlic, some Celtic sea salt, which I love, that has lots of minerals in it. And you don't have to add the balsamic vinegar. You can do a splash of that, or you can leave it off and then put it on toast or serve it as a side dish, and it's fantastic. We do this all the time, especially in the summer when tomatoes taste so yummy. Number 10, dipping oil. You can make delicious Italian dipping oil to be served with a loaf of sourdough bread. And I love this. We do this a lot. And if you don't know how to make sourdough bread, you need to head on over to my website. I have all kinds of recipes and teach you how to make delicious sourdough bread that's fermented. That's so much better for you than regular bread. And I have a pizza sourdough bread that is absolutely yummy, that's served with my fresh pasta sauce. And it has a garlic dipping sauce that you can use. The pizza sourdough bread is super, it's got a lot of flavor in it. And, to make the Italian dipping oil, you're just chopping up garlic, putting it in oil with some Italian herbs, and it's super, super good. Okay, number 11, make salsa. I just made a jar of salsa yesterday, and you can just throw the fermented garlic in there with the blender with fresh tomatoes and cilantro and some lime juice, some cumin, some chili pepper, and I throw it all in the blender. It makes fantastic salsa, and it takes literally minutes to make. So much better than buying the ones at the store that are preserved, and it doesn't take very long. And I got the recipe in the description link below, or head on over to Cultured Food Life and type in garlic, and that'll come up. And number 12, add it to pasta sauce. I love adding fermented garlic to my pasta sauce. If you keep it slightly warm and not hot, the probiotics remain intact, but it's okay if you do heat it. You're still going to get a lot of benefits. I have a really good pasta sauce for my Biotic Pro members that's raw, that is out of this world. It's made with cherry tomatoes and fresh basil and fermented garlic, and you just whirl it up, and it's so good. You don't even heat it. It's a raw pasta sauce that's fantastic. Number 13, I have a garlic mashed cauliflower recipe that I love. It's super easy to make if you're watching your carb intake and want this instead of mashed potatoes. Kids and adults love it, and I love it. It's fantastic, and it uses fermented garlic. Number 14, fermented hummus. Who doesn't love hummus? I have hummus, I have it a couple times a week at least. It's one of my favorite lunches in the summertime with fresh vegetables, red peppers, cucumbers, and carrot sticks. And all you do is use the fermented garlic instead of regular garlic in it, and it makes a yummy hummus. Number 15, one of my very favorites is Kefir Pesto. This particular recipe is made with pistachio nuts and kefir, and oh my gosh, I want to eat it with a spoon. It is so, so good. Use fermented garlic in it. You whirl it up. I don't know what it is about the pistachios, but I don't know if it's that's making it yummy, but it is one of my favorite pestos. and I use it to make on zucchini noodles or regular pasta. It's a family favorite. Number 16, try my fancy cultured sourdough veggie salad. It is loaded with veggies, tons of probiotics. It's filling, and people love the bright colors and delicious flavors, and it makes it so unique. It's a panzella probiotic salad that is so yummy in the summertime. I think you'll love it, and it's got fermented garlic in the sauce, and it's such a beautiful salad too. People love it. Okay, number 17, fermented ketchup. Originally, all the ketchups were fermented years ago, but nowadays they're made with vinegars and preservatives, but my ketchup is fermented. It's fun and easy to make and probiotic too, and it's a great way to get probiotics in your family, and it uses cultured garlic. So it's fun to make your own ketchup and your own mustard. So you'll have to give that a try. Number 18, Kefir Caesar salad. This is such a good dressing, and it's made with kefir and fermented garlic. It's an easy salad to make, and if you love Caesar salad, it's popular with just about everybody. It tastes wonderful, and it's better than store-bought dressings, and I absolutely love it. Okay, and the last one, 19, fermented garlic and honey. This is a wonderful homemade recipe that doesn't even need a culture to make it. And honey has its own, microbial abilities. So it's a prebiotic, and this ferments, it gets pretty bubbly. And it's a huge prebiotic. And when you put honey with garlic, it makes a wonderful food-like medicine that's super easy to make. So allicin, that I talked about before, that's in garlic, is an organic sulfur compound. And it's really interesting when you crush the garlic or ferment it. It's a defense mechanism against attacks by pests on the garlic plant. It has an incredible benefit in it. It's in all garlic. And there have been studies shown that suggest a daily high dose of allicin showed all kinds of effectiveness against all kinds of diseases. So it's a food-like medicine, and it's especially good. It's fermented. It's just fermented garlic cloves in honey, and it doesn't take very long to do, and it tastes fantastic. You can keep it for many months, even just in your cabinet, and everybody loves it. You can just pop those little cloves in there. People love them, and it's really fun and easy to make. So once again, the description is going to be the link to the article is going to be in the description below, and also in the pop-up if you're listening on YouTube. And I hope you'll head on over there. I hope you'll make some fermented garlic cloves. It's easy, it's fun, and it will really help you, whether it's lowering your cholesterol, your blood pressure, helping prevent colds and flus, or just tasting delicious. There's 19 reasons to eat it and to make it, and it is super easy, super fun. And as always, I'm trying to find ways to add cultured foods and probiotics to your life so your gut can help repair your gut and help you to live a healthier and happier life. Thanks, guys, for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.